Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, kids.
I know.
This is Daily Flash.
Isn't it
I don't know how we do it. Get excited. Where you at, hype man?
I'm excited. I'm so sorry. I'm just looking at this, trying to make sure we're great.
You're looking at his word of the day. Is that what you're?
Well, word of the day was voyeuristic. If I say that correctly.
Voyeuristic.
Vociferous.
Vociferous. Thank you.
Vociferous.
I had a hard time. I'm sorry. It means loud mouth.
Vociferous. Use it in a sentence.
Mitch is vociferous.
That I would give you. All right. So review word of the day before going to James. All right, very good there. Hey, look, I can't believe it. We got him. I don't know how we
I don't
booked
know
him.
either.
He had a busy day in Des Moines. He is back. Matt
did,
Doolittle,
I did.
to my right, kids.
And you can see all of our voraciousness on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff on our socials, and you can send us a comment, and we'll probably read it on the air, flash at dailyflashshow.com.
How many jobs does James have now?
James, yeah, where you
How
at
many
on
jobs?
numbers?
By like 7.
7 jobs.
The guys, he's
Constantly.
I'm a businessman.
Two jobs for each
Moving and
kid.
shaking.
For each kid.
Remember Mr. Movie Phone?
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome to Movie Phone. Who actually watched our other show
Yeah.
all the time, knew everything about us.
Russ Leatherman.
Russ Leatherman, great guy.
So check this out. Movie Phone is making a return
Hey,
with
Really?
a TV show and an app, a TV series and an app. And I did some research yesterday. Russ Leatherman is doing these 6-second movie reviews
I love
for
this
radio
idea.
stations across the country. So starting this fall, we're going to see Mr. Movie Phone back on television, maybe on streaming, but it will definitely be on your phone in the app world. And they are trying to make a big push for movies, streaming, and music.
I love this.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy who basically started it, if you
Yes.
think about it.
Yeah.
Before IMDb, before anything. There was a time where if you wanted to find out the movies were, you actually had to call, and it was a recording. And Mr. Movie, if you watch Seinfeld, they made fun of him.
They did, yeah.
And,
well, thank you for calling.
Why don't you just tell me what movie you want to see?
Yes.
Anyway, so that's great to see. I'm great to hear that about him as well. And I think, nowadays where we do have apps, and I would imagine the complementing TV show would be maybe is it like, do you know anything about it? Is it going to tell you
what
what's
they're
coming
going
up?
to do. Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to take influencers who are big in movie and television. Maybe even Matt might be a part of it. Who knows? But they're going to select people to be a part of their show to talk about their movie reviews, their television reviews. Video games, that was another part of their platform. They're going to incorporate that into the review process, when to get it, where to get it, how it plays, what you think. And I think it's going to be real quick, real fast paced. And I think they're going to take a page from Russ's 6-second movie reviews that he's doing for a number of radio stations across the country right now, and incorporate all of this, because we are, as most of us know, we live in this ADD society. If I can't get it within 10 seconds, I'm moving on. So, and that's content, review, info, you name it.
And it's just the huge push to get people back in the theaters. AMC this summer is going to start offering half-off Wednesdays. Because they're just like, please come to the theater, don't wait for it to go to streaming.
Yeah.
And then they're also talking to all these streaming companies about, hey, can you wait more than a month when it's in the theater to put it on your platform? Like, give it at least 3 months here, but...
Isn't that weird?
It's very weird.
They said that came out in the theaters.
Yeah.
And now I can
Well,
tune
we
in.
were just watching. We were watching something the other day. I think it was one of the basketball games. And Adam Sandler's new movie, the golfing movie. Help me out.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2. And he's
Happier.
like, wait a second. This isn't coming to theaters? Netflix only, because Sandler cut a deal with
he's
Netflix.
got an incredible deal for them.
Yeah.
I wish that wasn't. I wish they'd offer both for that one, especially.
Yes, I do
because
too.
that feels like, comedies you kind of like to see with people.
Yes.
Well, they say that with horror films. You want to see horror films
It's a
in
collective
group.
experience,
I like
right?
that.
Yeah.
I think we saw a great movie, Matt and I and our friend Travis, we saw, it's coming out, it's called Friendship with Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. I know it was a funny movie. Loved it.
Very
I love
different.
Tim Robinson. It's different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it made me, because we're so used to watching this kind of stuff on TV. I felt like that was like a show that I probably would have watched on TV, but it was a really good, really, really good movie.
Do you think that any of the suggestions movie theaters are considering, the allowing cell phones,
Nope.
allowing conversation,
No.
sing-along, smoking pot, any of that stuff, will that be a draw for theaters? I think they're trying to do anything they can to get people back in the seats.
I can tell you the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Make the food cheaper.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's where they make
That's
their
where
money.
they make their
That's the
money.
thing.
You know,
Yeah.
but they gotta make it cheaper.
Danny
They gotta
McBride
figure it
came
out.
out. Did you hear about this? And he was talking about he goes, these small towns, these mid to small towns that have these movie theaters, you go in and they're like relics.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not the movie experience. When you can go to somebody's house and watch it on a big screen and quiet and that sort of thing. These smaller little theaters need to actually really revamp what their theaters are all about. And the only way that theaters make money is through the concessions. And that's why I agree with you on that.
I'm surprised that they haven't taken those pouches that you have to get at some of these big events and put your phone and you're watching it, because there's nothing more irritating when you're watching a movie and then all of a sudden somebody's on their phone or their watch is
is.
dinging and they're like lighting things up. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch a movie here. I don't want to be a part of your next conversation.
I think, what people forget is like, well, I'm sitting down in the front, I'm away from everybody. But for me, at least, when I'm watching TV or I'm watching a movie rather,
Yeah.
and a small light goes on over here,
You
it
see it.
catches my
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm now paying attention to that.
And you're so afraid to say anything to anybody because you don't want to get
God
shot.
only knows what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
you don't wanna-
right?
you know.
Yeah. And then the talking people who chit chat, it's like, you're not at home.
That drives me crazy.
Yes.
What drives you crazy in theaters? We want to
Yes.
hear from you. Sound off. Go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Hit the sound off button. Let's jump into some trending news. There's one dude, he is taking that old saying, be fruitful and multiply, to a whole new level. His name is Rob Albon. He's got a goal. He wants to solve the world's declining birth rate by repopulating the earth with his children. As a private sperm donor, he actually advertises his services on Facebook. Doesn't participate at any of the donor clinics, though. Since he moved to the UK from the United States back in 2020, he says that he's actually fathered 40 kids. Majority of them are actually in the United States or Argentina. He says he remains in contact with around 60 of his children and sees many of them at least once a week. Oddly enough, he's no longer in contact with 2 of his kids from his marriage that he had for 30 years.
It's crazy to me.
I wonder about this naturalization. Where does sperm donation come into that? So if you're an American and donated sperm, like if one of your parents is
That's a great
I wonder where
question.
that is headed. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody, I know it sounds crazy, but has that been issued?
But
Do
the
we know?
sperm was American.
Right, no.
Birthright citizenship. Sperm
Right?
rights.
If you identify yourself,
Yeah.
see, and I think that's why this guy's going around the sperm banks, because if he's doing it on Facebook, then they at least you know who he is, you know who this person is, you know that he's an American. I'm wondering if there's something involved in that. Do you know what I'm
That's a
saying?
really good question. I don't know if that's ever actually been. I'm sure it's defined. It's got to be defined
I would hope
somewhere.
everything that's happening in the world. I would hope that there is.
Yeah, but my concern is this reminds me of driving down the road and you see a billboard for get Botox for $6.99. Here's a sperm donor for free on
Yeah.
Facebook. I just there's something very odd about this whole thing. And then on top of it, you think about this guy's fathered how many children?
40 so far.
40 so far. And are they 40 within the same area? Because then what are we talking about? Are those 40 going to end up meeting one another and then find out, hey, we're related? How about
Yeah,
that?
That happened
right?
to Jackson and I. That's why we had to
Yeah,
get divorced.
I know.
And it was
It's
a
just-
bad
it's
situation.
true. It's very true.
Where that doctor was
Remember that?
doing it.
They didn't know, right?
100 people in a town.
In the town.
All like brothers and sisters.
And no one knew.
Didn't Vince Vaughn do a movie about that, right?
Yes, he did. Yes.
What was it?
On child support. He'll stop everything.
That's it,
Child support, yeah, right.
That's
No
probably
kidding.
so.
The country with the most beautiful women in the world has just been named, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? The winner is Colombia.
Oh, I agreed. Okay.
Gorgeous, gorgeous people. According to Insider Monkey and Reddit users, Colombia is home to the most beautiful women in the world. The site posted their survey on Reddit. Colombian women were described as having the highest beauty ideals across the globe, with healthy hair, exotic eyes, feminine expressions. Coming in at number 2 on the list, Poland.
Okay.
Reddit described Polish women as among the most attractive women in the world as well, because most have high cheekbones, full lips, and pale skin.
I remember, I don't know, about a decade ago, Iceland actually had it. And they had a lot of
That
Nordic
is
women, and they had
right.
those strong features. And
Yeah.
and big features, which
What
they
kind of
mentioned.
features?
They're, I don't know. They were healthy.
They were healthy features.
I'll have to go back and look at
Yes.
it. But it is subjective. But when then you see people like Sofia Vergara, and you're like, who is Colombian, and you're like, oh yeah, she's almost like representing to me that's the first person I think of.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Selma Hayek on the cover of
She is
Sports?
58 years old.
Yes.
Sports Illustrated? Have you seen her?
No, why?
She looks amazing, and she's 58.
I cannot believe Hugo and I were talking about this morning. I didn't know she's older than me, and I was like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And she's only about like 5 foot tall too, man. I could put her in my
Lovely.
pocket, which I might next if I ever meet her. I love you, Selma Hayek. We have got more Flash coming up. Stick around. You're watching Daily Flash, and we appreciate you.
Appreciate the little things in your garden.
On this week's Spotlight guest, Jamaican singer-songwriter Kez Namdi.
Thank you for having me.
Congrats on your second studio album, Blood and Fire.
Yes.
It's a great message to remind us to value the truly important things in life.
Time has been a common theme in my life. Time is the most limited resource that we have here on earth. The truest form of art is reflecting the times at hand.
Your new album, Blood and Fire, is a result of this entire journey. It's more than an album.
I've been really diving deep into the art and really spending a lot of time mastering my craft. It's less about just making a cool rhyme scheme for me now. I'm really trying to see, all right, how can I make sure that I make some music when I'm dead and gone and I'm past, it can last a couple generations after me.
Visit KezNamdi.com. Check out tour dates. Get the new album, Blood and Fire, out in June.
Thank you for sharing your platform.
Catch The Scene with Doreen every Wednesday at 38 past the hour, only on Daily Flash.
All right, Doreen, thank you so much. Ladies, there is a new dating trend that actually puts your ego and boosts your ego, I should say, and increases your reputation. Here to talk more about it, and it's called throning, is trauma expert Dr. Janie Lacey. Dr. Lacey, welcome back.
Good to be here.
So we got to ask, what exactly is throning, and who came up with this royal dating trend?
Always a trend, right?
Yes.
When we look at this throning, it's essentially just dating someone for their status, their social position, or their influence, that instead of genuine connection. So we want to think of it as the modern evolution of what we used to call social climbing through relationships.
Ah.
And Andrea, when I think about this terminology, I think it's, even though it's relatively new and in popular culture, the concept isn't, right? So we know that this behavior throughout history, when we think about royal courts to Hollywood, has always been there. And when we think about also social media, right? Social media is amplifying this phenomenon, making statuses and influence more visible and quantifiable than ever before, including like dating apps and Instagram. It's essentially created this digital kingdom where people can strategically align themselves with others that have maybe more followers or desirable lifestyles.
Yeah, I can just think of words like, status and thirsty and this, that, and the other thing. And Mitch and I were talking about this during the break. This seems like it's all about like dating upward, right? And you mentioned social status. And guys will say this oftentimes when they marry a really great girl. I'm married up. I'm married up. Mitch even says, I'm married up. Have you seen any hilarious or outrageous examples of someone clearly throning on a date?
In my practice, I've probably seen a lot of examples, but some ones that stand out to me is some ones where in particular, there was someone where it really reveals deeper issues, right? But remember, one client shared that her date spent the entire evening strategically positioning them to be photographed by paparazzi outside of a celebrity hotspot. And, she was saying that he literally moved their outdoor table like 3 times to ensure that they were in the background of the photos being taken for a reality show at the next table. And then, I think about another memorable one where it involves someone who was insistent on speaking loudly about their connection to their date's famous family whenever the server approached the table, and she would say that it was a dramatic because they weren't even talking about that. So he would say, well, remember about your cousin who won that Oscar winner? So like stuff like that where people are just doing stuff to kind of puff themselves up in those examples. But to me, it's amusing for us. But I couldn't say this without being a psychotherapist. It just shows profound, like, just insecurity and a lack of their authentic identity when I see someone that acts like this or just want to attach themselves to other people. Because when someone's self-worth becomes externally validated, they're often making significant, to me, they often have significant trauma issues or attachment issues that deserve compassion rather than attention.
Yeah.
In these
Well, because they're desperate for some sort of identity, and God bless that waiter for sweeping up all the names he dropped during that date. Do you think this trend is more about confidence, clout, or just a clever dating strategy? Or is it, as surface, is just wanting to up your likes and your followers on social media? I hate to say that, but that seems to be what the motivation is here.
It's fascinating because throning actually represents the opposite to me of genuine confidence. Confidence comes from internal validation and our self-worth, while throning, we can say that it reflects more external dependency. And what looks like strategic dating behavior is usually masking profound insecurity. So the pursuit to me of clout through relationships reveals something important about our cultural moment that we've created, in my opinion, these social systems where proximity to fame or influence has become a form of currency. When relationships become strategic for accumulating this social currency, we fundamentally misunderstood what creating lasting human connection and happiness is really about.
Dr. Janie Lacey, always a pleasure to see you and chat with you. For more, just head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Mitch.
Thank you there, Jackson, and thank you, Janie. All right, looks like, and I didn't get my invite, the biggest fat convention on the West Coast celebrating its third year. It's called FatCon, and it features keynote speakers, a fashion show, marketplace, and so much more. It's geared towards generating fat joy and building a fat community. The three-day convention says it centers around celebrating fat humans, fat bodies, fat lives. Their mission is to improve the lives of fat humans by improving invisibility and seeking fat liberation. I believe that they should be represented by all means. But I also say when you see like this, when you celebrate it, it's taking it away saying it's okay. And and as a former very, very obese fat guy, I can say this, it's not healthy living. Yeah. And it's kind of celebrating this unhealthy living. And I understand by anybody, I get it. It's a very hard thing to go through.
Sure.
But I would hope that when you go to these things, they have solutions and not, hey, hooray for fat.
Yeah.
Instead of this.
Yeah, 100% agree. Let us know what you think. Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. In this week's Boss Lady, we meet organic farmer Rachael Slattery, who farms in harmony with the land.
We see our animals as a big piece of this regeneration, this regenerative way of growing food. Our pig production is really special. Our pigs do start the year in an open air covered structure with lots of hay at the bottom, which actually kind of becomes like a heated floor for them in the winter.
What we have is Berkshire pigs, which is a heritage breed that we settled on at the request of chefs, actually, because they tend to marble a little bit better than some of the conventional breeds. They started giving birth about 3 weeks ago, and the newest ones we have right now are about 5 days old. They're probably born at 2 pounds, and they stay with their moms for 2 months.
And they just thrive in this situation. They love to chew on the hay. They like to root around in the dirt. They have access to clean water, frost-free water, the whole time they're in here. The way that my grandfather farmed is very, very different than the way we farm. When my grandfather, he was a child, they would tell stories of going out into the field and coming back just covered in white dust, which of course was DDT. All of my great uncles and grandfather passed away of different various types of cancer. I still don't think there's an excuse to have chickens or pigs in a warehouse shoulder to shoulder where they can't move. I understand from a business standpoint that it would be more profitable to have these systems where the animals are more controlled. Their environment is controlled and predictable and flat. We are trying to farm in harmony with the wild. Regenerative agriculture starts with the soil. So starting with soil life, soil health.
Grazing grass and then giving it a break so that it can grow back really well. That's the process that sequesters the most carbon, that builds the soil the fastest. If we can keep the grass healthy, we know the animals are healthy because they're eating healthy food. It's about 6 months to get them from 2 pounds to here.
We find ways to use the animals' natural tendencies to benefit the land. Pigs dig up and turn up soil. They're really good at that rooting, that digging. But when they do that on land that doesn't have an opportunity to recover or have grass or forage regrow, it just causes bare soil. What we've found with pigs is we need to move them. We need to move them often. Each week, the pigs are moved to a brand new area of forage where they go in, they have lush, tall cover crop that we've planted for them.
We throw the seed out there and they bury it, and we systematically move the pigs, seed it, work them around in a whole circle. And by the time they get back to the first place, the cover crops can be 2 feet tall, 4 feet tall. It's lush, it's fully recovered, it's absorbed all the nutrients that the pigs left there the time before, and it's ready for another grazing.
They're good-looking pigs. Do they do anything besides eat and sleep all day long?
That's about it. They graze, on the forages that we're planting for them. They eat the grain that we supply for them. They sleep a lot, and then they leave their offering for us.
I know that's happy is a funny word sometimes to use with livestock, but happy I mean like they're not stressed, they're not hungry all the time, like they're healthier, happier animals.
We use a local slaughterhouse in Westport, Massachusetts. We're already taking the bigger ones, so every week we take a trailer load. So we just started this week, and we'll take a group every week for 6 weeks.
We are constantly trying to roll with nature and then trying to fit into the rigid business world of scheduling and bills and, payments. But with climate change, we don't know what typical really is anymore.
Rather than taking out an insurance policy that'll pay us when there's drought, we've built an insurance policy here by thinning out the trees. And we have about half of the pasture space that we have now is partially shaded and just grow.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
Hope
How
you
about
are having
that?
I'm glad to be here next to you,
Yes,
and we're
love-
glad to have those folks right there. We're talking about you
Yeah.
here at our show. We have got a great one for you. In the big in sports news already last week, everybody been talking about this. Charlie Hustle back in the MLB.
Yeah.
Maddie just told me about this. I was like, holy cow, are you serious?
yes.
How big of a story that is. Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. It's a big deal because, I mean, I feel bad for him that they had to wait till he was dead because now they're like, oh, we don't let anybody alive back in. So they purposely waited till he's been dead.
They did. They purposely, yeah.
Shoeless Joe Jackson is part of this whole thing.
And you know what? That is the biggest thing. They threw games, all right? Pete Rose just bet on his own team.
Pete Rose never bet against his
right.
team. And Pete Rose for years had to go do so many of these sad, like, cons and stuff and sit at a table and sign stuff off because they wouldn't let him be a part of the baseball world. So he missed out on a lot of money and his pension and everything like that.
Well, wasn't Shoeless Joe Jackson part of Field of Dreams?
Yes.
That was his whole thing. About the Pete Rose thing, I am baffled by the whole deal, especially when you look at sports betting today. I don't care what.
Right? Yeah.
Like, wait a second. So this was inappropriate how many years ago? And yet all we have now when it comes to sports coverage, betting. Sports players sponsors it. Sports players are talking about it. Team sponsor it. It's nuts to me.
Players are playing that were also betting as well, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
players they're always doing
gambling.
that. Players aren't even supposed to be seen gambling in casinos, and there's been multiple videos of that happening.
Can I tell you? I met Pete Rose.
And allowed to be people.
Not necessarily wrong. Like for some reason we put him on this pedestal.
Yeah.
So I met Pete Rose, and I don't ever like going up to celebrities.
Yeah.
But I was born a Reds fan because I was born in Kentucky and Cincinnati. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I met Pete Rose. Guess where I met him?
At a bar.
Not at a bar. It was at an airport, but guess what city?
Cincinnati.
Not Cincinnati.
Dayton.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Where you do all the gambling, right? And I go, he might not want me to go. So I went up to him and said, hey, man, hey, Mr. Rose, I just want to tell you, I remember when he left and went to Philadelphia for a little while, people at Cincinnati felt betrayed by that, but he eventually came back and he had a reality show for a little while. Mm-hmm. So did you ever watch it?
I didn't see it, but I remember
it only was on like
yeah.
1 or 2 seasons on some small network or whatever. But, you could see that he was really trying, saying, look, this is not fair. Really, it isn't.
Right.
And trying to get on the side. And I agree. It sucks that they waited till he died.
I would say this. The rules are the rules. He knew better.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have went against the rules.
Yeah.
That's
and
a good
they
point.
made an example of it.
But they
made an example of it.
They change all the time. When they ran
change
down,
all the time, but
no, you're right. You're right.
He had a mouth on him.
He did.
So they made an example of him.
Oh, he would do like clown show things outside of Reds games. I mean, he'd literally stand outside signing stuff.
He would meet jackasses in their airport and let them come up and talk
Las
to
Vegas.
It just cracks me up that the sports writers are the ones that vote on the Hall of Fame, and they're some of the worst people I've ever met in my life. And it's like, you're making that decision? I never found that right.
I think if Pete Rose was around today, I think it would have been all right, a slap on the wrist and that sort of thing. It was also, too, the commissioner, he was hell-bent. They got a new commissioner, obviously, and it was hell-bent on making sure Pete Rose will never get back into this game. And everybody said, and Pete Rose even said, I'll be in the Hall of Fame. I'll be going to Cooperstown, but it's going to be after I die. And that kind of stinks.
Yeah, it does kind of stink. But it's the selective outrage that I think is really frustrating because when you look at these situations, as you guys have mentioned, you've got these writers who don't have a squeaky clean
I've hung out with a few of them. Not so much.
And you're telling me that these sports writers don't place bets? And again, taking it back to the betting thing, and I get it, you're right, James. He knew better. He shouldn't have done it, but he did it. But in comparison to everything, it's just like, it's amazing to me, like the things that we stick on people and we refuse to forgive them, and then other things we're like, well, he can beat the girl. I don't care. We're moving on. I'm like, wait a second,
That's
what?
true.
Yeah.
But James brought a good point. Teaching a lesson,
Yes.
and the first person also gets the biggest penalty.
You're right.
And because I wonder if he would have been wasn't as celebrated and as vocal as he was. Maybe they might have let him in earlier, but he was hell bent on I'm going to be in there, and good for him.
I guess what other choice do you have, when you're backed up against the wall like that? But the first guy through the door always gets it the hardest. Yeah, lesson learned.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Bright Side. These are a few stories on the positive side of news, if not the bright side. First up, a group of high school students in Kentucky. They're turning wood shop class into something truly, really impactful. They're actually building tiny homes for homeless veterans. Very cool. Students designed and constructed the homes all from scratch, including electricity, plumbing, and even furniture. They recently handed over the keys to their first veteran who called it a dream come true. It's all hands-on learning with a mission, and the school actually plans to build even more homes every semester. So it's real proof that real change can come from the classroom and a nail gun as well. These are actually real skills that you could use.
Yes.
And that's what I love about the fact that they're offering these sort of things in schools. I remember I wish I would have taken shop class, so at least I know how to do more along with the car. And this kind of stuff is really adding to it, you know?
Yeah, accounting, shop class, home maintenance, those things all would have been extremely important.
Absolutely.
In Hong Kong, a group of young women turning heads by taking over the traditional male-dominated art of lion dancing. They're not only preserving the cultural performance, but giving it a fresh new take with powerful movements, dazzling colors, and packed crowds. Their message is clear. The next generation of tradition makers is taking inspiration from the last. They train and perform constantly, and their goal is to inspire the next generation. Think of it as an ancient tradition with a new, bold, modern roar.
It is kind of cool if you think about it. You're talking about, this is things that is centuries and centuries old, this traditions. For them to change that is really actually a big deal.
Nice to see them, move along those things and bring it into a new tradition, or into a new generation, rather. And finally, Brody, a 150-pound St. Bernard in Washington State, has become a local celebrity thanks to his unbreakable friendship with his elderly neighbor, Miss Sally. Even after she moved into an assisted living facility, Brody continued his daily routine, walking over to her window just to see her smile. His owners say he waits at her old front door out of habit, tilting his head and wagging his tail, hoping for a quick visit or a familiar face. The staff at the facility now look forward to Brody's visits almost as much as Sally does. He's been known to bring toys, wear costumes, and even pose for holiday photos. Their story has gone viral on social media, proving that sometimes love doesn't need words, just 4 paws and a loyal heart.
Yeah, you see, there's that, isn't it weird, the connection that what dogs can do? And, we don't know all that much about them, or at least what they're thinking other than by their actions. And you see they're just full of love.
You ever been around a St. Bernard?
I've not, actually.
They're very slobbery, and the one I knew how to open sliding glass doors. So they're very smart.
Extremely smart.
What I know about the St. Bernard, remember they would go up in the mountain, they have the beer in their collar.
Beer
remember those?
Yes. We've got something for you guys. This is definitely an only in Florida story. A barefoot man was seen wrestling a large gator on the side of I-95 right near Jacksonville, Florida. Mike Dragich is known as the Blue Collar Brawler. He's a Marine veteran and an MMA fighter with a huge following for his alligator wrestling videos. In the video, you can see Mike using a pole to engage the gator.
Wow.
He snaps and thrashes his tail in the median as cars just whiz by on the highway. Eventually, they lift the 9-foot gator into the back of a pickup truck. He was relocated to a safer place away from the busy roadway.
Very cool to see that.
Only in Florida.
Only in Florida.
Florida man going to Florida.
Yes, very true. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It is time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. Streaming on Prime Video is the thriller Elektra.
Who is Elektra?
Elektra is a play by Sophocles.
A comedy?
A tragedy.
You guys should come to Francesca's country house this weekend.
They don't know us. Just play their game.
A journalist and his female companion travel to interview a famous musician in Rome, where a generous invite to a country estate becomes something more than anyone expected. I chatted with star Maria Bakalova.
You can talk about two couples and the relationship between the two of them, but it's more complex than that. And I feel like people will feel it more than be able to verbalize it. interesting to see who will they empathize with, because you can find yourself in all four characters, yet not in one specific character, I think.
Elektra is a surprisingly well-written avant-garde film dealing with lies, deception, and murder. If you're into European thrillers, this one's for you. Again, Elektra is streaming on Prime Video and gets a B. It's not rated. In selected theaters is the sequel to the action thriller The Accountant, aptly titled The Accountant 2.
Welcome to the Boise Romance Festival.
How are you?
I just love accountants.
That's a coincidence.
I like camping.
So do I.
I thought I saw an Airstream in one of your photos.
Yes, that's my home. That's where I live.
Oh, permanently?
Well, as long as I'm alive. Eventually, this body will be a corpse.
Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, applies his brilliant mind and illegal methods to reconstruct the unsolved puzzle of a Treasury chief's murder, all the while staying one step ahead of a deadly assassin, played by Daniela Pineda.
What do you think audiences will take away once they discover The Accountant 2?
I think that, look, if you want to come in just for an action movie, you're going to get that. But if you are like, what is this franchise? What is this? This has comedy. It's funny. If you are someone who has annoying family dynamics, there's a brother duo in this movie that is hilarious to watch, packed with way more comedy. It's smart, and you have to pay attention. It's a movie you want to see in a movie theater. I mean, I told my family that, like, you have to be paying attention. You can't be on your phone. You got to be really honed in to get the twists in this film. So I think that there's something in it for everybody, truly.
The Accountant 2 is a solid thriller with equal parts action and humor that balances out the story. Although the plot has a few bumps, nevertheless the film is entertaining and well worth your time. Again, it's playing in selected theaters and gets a B. It's rated R. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
With prices up and budgets tight, saving money is more important than ever. AARP's latest guide breaks down 99 smart ways to do just that. Here's more.
The 16th edition of AARP Bulletin's 99 Great Ways to Save is here, featuring smart, practical tips to help Americans cut costs and stay ahead in today's economy. Deputy Editor David Brindley has more.
With rising costs and tighter budgets, even small changes can make a big difference. This year's tips include ways to slash grocery bills, lower your electricity use, and take advantage of loyalty programs and free services.
The latest edition also includes clever ways to save on everyday expenses, like unplugging appliances that drain energy even when they're turned off.
Here's a smart move. If you pay half your monthly mortgage every 2 weeks, you'll end up making one extra monthly payment each year. That cuts down interest and can help you pay off your loan faster. And when grocery shopping, look high and low. Stores often place pricier items at eye level, while the better deals are located above or below.
For more budgeting tips, visit aarp.org/99 ways to save. That's aarp.org/99 ways to save.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to refresh your home for the season. Joining us now is lifestyle expert Jeanette Kaplan with more. Hi, Jeanette.
Thanks so much for having me. Spring is really the perfect time to refresh your home for the season. And one thing that I'm loving in my spring cleaning arsenal right now is Lysol's new range of lavender and cotton blossom scented products. They're really a must-have to keep around the house. These products provide Lysol's trusted disinfection, killing 99.9% of germs when used as directed, and leave your home smelling incredible with a refreshing scent of lavender. The newest fragrance in the brand new Day collection, Lysol Lavender and Cotton Blossom, is available in a suite of Lysol products to disinfect or clean every room in your home, from a disinfectant spray to wipes, toilet bowl cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, multi-surface cleaner. I like to keep them in every room from the kitchen to the bathroom to help tackle messes and germs. So definitely pick these up, now available at major retailers. Now, spring is also the perfect time to finally check off those DIY projects that you've been putting on hold. With longer days and warmer weather, it's the ideal season to refresh your home for summer gatherings, and nothing transforms a space faster than a fresh coat of paint. But without the right tools, even simple updates can quickly turn into a hassle. That's why I'm reaching for Scotch Blue Pro Sharp Painter's Tape with EdgeLock Plus technology. Backed by over 100 years of Scotch brand innovation, it's designed for precision. Powered by advanced EdgeLock Plus technology, it seals out paint for ultra-crisp, sharp lines, perfect for everyone from first-time DIYers to experienced pros. Designed for versatility and ease of use, it delivers 2 times better hold than tape with the original EdgeLock technology and the sharpest paint lines yet in the Scotch Blue Painter's Tape portfolio. It's a must-have for protecting a variety of indoor or outdoor surfaces like drywall, trim, wood, tile, and more. Visit scotchblue.com to learn more.
Hey, when it comes to medical visits, the cost can quickly skyrocket. Here's what you need to know.
When large hospitals buy smaller practices, they can rebrand and charge more for the same care, costing patients, employers, and taxpayers billions.
And when a physician's office is acquired by a hospital system, prices increase by more than 14%. There's an effort to enact legislation to call for site-neutral payments, for same price for the same service protections for patients.
Visit samepricenow.org to learn more.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's look inside the lifestyles of the rich and famous, and we'll dive into some celebrity real estate.
Yes, we start with former couple Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. They are trying to offload their marital mansion, taking a staggering $8 million off the original asking price of $68 million. They bought the Beverly Hills estate back in May of 2023 for $60 million. But just 1 year later, it was back on the market as the couple headed for Splitsville. They've now dropped the asking price to $59 million. Property has a separate 5,000 square foot guest penthouse, caretaker house, 2-bedroom guardhouse, 12-car garage, and parking for 80 vehicles.
Because we only need 80 vehicles.
Yeah, of course. You never know when you're going to have friends over.
You know, and they always say, the divorce is where you can get a good deal on a house. And
yes.
I would say, I guess that's what
fire
happens.
sale.
Yeah.
If you've got an extra $60 million.
This is interesting. Jim Carrey, once again, trimming the price of his Los Angeles estate. He took off $1 million. He's relisting it now for just under $19 million. He's been trying to sell it for quite some time. The actor first put his Brentwood compound on the market early 2023 for $29 million. Since then, he's undergone several price reductions before going under contract late last year. That transaction actually fell through. Property relisted back in February. It's a 2-acre spread, includes a modernized mid-century ranch-style house. Built in 1951, it spans more than 10,000 square feet. Mansion features 5 bedrooms, a curved sunroom, and an Art Deco-inspired movie theater. Outdoor amenities have a pool with a waterfall, a guest house, a tennis court, and an area dedicated to yoga and meditation. He's saying, I'm by myself, I don't need this.
And one of the reasons why he's having trouble selling it is because of the real estate tax they've just instilled on certain home sales, and his is part of it. So if you're buying a $60 million home, you got to pay an extra $6 million in real estate tax. Just you as the buyer.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's it, off the top.
Off the top. The Los Angeles estate of music industry titan Quincy Jones has come to market for just under $60 million. 5 months after his death, the 2-acre compound had served as Jones's primary residence since 2002. 28-time Grammy winner acquired the land in 1972 for $200,000, then built a custom estate decades later. Spans nearly 25,000 square feet. Home includes 5 bedrooms, 17 bathrooms across 3 interconnected wings, accessible by staircases and elevators. Gorgeous circular living room.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I mean, very, very
beautiful.
cool. Well, we appreciate us being in your mansion. We're going to do it again tomorrow. How about that?
DailyFlashShow.com. Be good, everybody.
Bye.